Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Rance, we are actually ready for you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody?
We're fine, thank you.
Good. Well, we have been extremely busy. I think everybody is right now with all of this. Both clinics, ER, patients on the floor, everything. We're busy everywhere. Still seeing high numbers of COVID related patients. Doing our best with it, but it's a challenge. It really is. We're seeing the side of things that you hear about, and
We hoped wouldn't come,
we hope we wouldn't be dealing with it.
but it is.
Yeah.
I was there twice yesterday in the ambulance. It was a zoo.
It's.
So are you at capacity?
No.
Okay.
We've got 5 admitted right now that are positive. I think 3 that are positive, 2 have been positive, but they have been released, so they're no longer considered positive at this point.
I've had a couple of people, just in passing, make a comment about how difficult it was to find another location or a step up in healthcare. Is that still the case?
That is getting more difficult all the time. We've been trying to manage them as much as possible. There's been some requests to transfer. There's been some requests to please keep them locally as until we absolutely have to. So we sort of gauge on their oxygen demand when it's time to ship them out.
So are you still able to find locations to send these people?
We are right now, but it's taking a long time to do it. Sometimes up to 3 hours to finally find a location to ship them. We've been having those discussions that we may find ourselves not being able to, and we just have to manage. And so we're preparing ourselves for that as well. There's KDHE keeps sending out new treatment measures, new options. So we're trying to implement all of that as soon as we get that type of stuff. Hoping that something works. We're just not seeing a lot of.
Well, it seems like what works for one doesn't work for another.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
How's your staff holding up?
We've been hit hard. We've been short in some areas. Clinic has been short. Nursing staff has been short. Even some of our different office staff we've been short. But we've got some great people. They've done a good job of pulling together and getting us through it. So right now some of our office staff are coming back on. They've been off for a while,
well, let's take a worst case scenario. What we get to capacity, then what?
Yeah.
Do we have a plan or no? Or
if we get to capacity, we have
very few options, though.
We don't have a solid idea of what we'd do at that point.
I think that worries a lot of people.
Yeah.
They want to come to their hospital. They don't want to be somewhere else. And with
like I said, we've got 3 ventilators. We added 2 brand new ones. We got those in since our last meeting, I believe. Those are up and ready if we need them. But that's what we've got is 3 vents. And usually small hospitals like this, they're fortunate if they've got a vent. But we also are staying in good contact with Ryan. And if we need emergency vents, he's able to get those to us. But it has to be in an emergent situation where it is absolutely
legitimate.
Needed.
Yeah.
And so we have been keeping communication going there, so we're ready for that. If we was to get in a position where we're totally filled up and there was nobody receiving them, would probably reach out for assistance from the National Guard, call them in, and try to go from there.
Well, you know, everybody's fear is it's going to fill up every facility, and
Yeah,
we're not going to be able to ship out.
yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, we've been experiencing that. It's getting more and more difficult, especially with the runway down.
Yeah, when is that supposed to be completed?
It was a month long, wasn't it?
Well,
Goodland has worked with us on that. They have come and picked up a patient and taken them to the airport in Goodland.
yeah, I guess what I hate about that is the additional cost to the patient. It's not their fault that the runway's screwed up,
Yeah.
because that's pretty expensive.
Yeah,
I know when we experienced it, it was like $800 just for a 30-minute ride to Goodland.
yeah,
Well, those are the times, and
yeah.
we'll have to deal with it as it comes.
Exactly. Our two new providers, we're glad to have them on board. They're both here. They're both on deck, and they've jumped in with both feet, hit the ground running, and they've done a great job.
Good.
Working well with us. Dr. Boson I believe he was on call this weekend, and I think he got baptized this weekend through it all. It was a busy weekend in the ER. So, but they've done a great job and getting in there and taking care of business. The PCR testing for COVID, we're hoping to have that analyzer in-house before much longer. They're in the process of setting that analyzer up for us. We placed the order. The analyzer is being prepared for us, and we're hoping that that won't take long, and we should have that in-house before much longer and be able to quit sending out so many tests. So that's where we are with that. It was like pulling teeth to find somebody out there even offering one. There's such high demand right now.
Will that be in the hospital or in the clinic?
That'll be in the hospital. Yeah, it has to be. That would have to be run in the lab.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's that PCR testing. It's about a 45-minute turnaround.
And
Not
good,
too bad.
accurate?
But right now, we're sending everything to North Platte for the most part, and 2 to 3 day turnaround going there. So it'd be a big benefit to be able to do that in-house.
And I'm just assuming here that the majority of the people, maybe not even the majority, but some of the people who, let's say, you're not necessarily committed to the hospital once you receive a positive test. You'd probably rather they stay home and
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah.
Until
And
they
most people are able to stay home and recover at home.
Are they monitored by county health or?
County Health follows up with them. Of course, County Health, their plate is overloaded right now, along with everybody else's. And Mala has done a great job, and she's getting some staff around her. We've got a contact tracer in place now that's has been going through training and helping her. And then, of course, Tiffany and so they're getting shored up better, but I know that they have been spread thin, especially having to do this 24/7 basically. But they have done a good job, and they are trying their best to follow up with people as they can,
And once again, and these are all questions that people have,
or bring it to you.
yes, have asked
Yeah.
me. So if you're ill, you don't want them just showing up at the clinic or the hospital, correct?
We want you to call.
Call.
If there's somebody sick, we don't want you to wait at all.
Right.
Please call and call the clinic, call the hospital, will screen you over the phone and then either set you up for an appointment or give you instructions at that point.
So I guess the key here is that if you're feeling ill, don't necessarily just
Don't-
run into the clinic.
Yeah.
Make the phone call first.
Make the phone call, and then we will figure out where to go from there.
Okay.
We're doing a lot of drive-by screenings, drive-up screenings. That way everybody's not coming into the clinic. The ones that, if they want to see a provider and not do a drive-up screening, if they feel like they're sicker or if they've been screened and they feel like, you know what, you really need to see one of our providers, make sure you're okay, then we're doing that. And we're trying to bring them in the back door of the clinic to do that, so we're not walking through the waiting room and everything else. We've got a process in place for that, but at the same time, the clinic has been overwhelmed with that
Sure.
too. And then our EVS, our housekeeping department, them guys they deserve props. They have done a tremendous job, but it's nonstop for them. Trying to, what happens if somebody just walks in and they end up being positive, then we have to trace where they've been in the building and get our housekeeping department to try to trace all that and clean everywhere they've been. If they went into a restroom, if they sat in a waiting room, whatever it may be, if they went down to the vending machine, we have to trace it all out and clean behind them. And so
There again,
that's what gets,
right, there again, if you're ill, please call first.
yeah, call and don't wait to call. We are realizing the earlier we treat, the better results we're getting. The ones that are waiting until they absolutely feel like, I'm so sick, I got to go see a doctor, it's usually not a good place at that point. So the earlier the better for sure.
Okay.
And we just got an allotment of a new trial drug that's out right now. Not everybody qualifies for it. You have to have certain criteria. Got to be a certain age, if you have complications, if you have health problems, that you're screened for it. And then it's up to you if you want to, but it's an outpatient treatment. So it's for very early treatment in the stages. So if you're requiring any oxygen, then you don't qualify for this drug unless you were already on oxygen at home. Now, if you were already on oxygen, you're requiring more oxygen, you won't qualify for this. So early identification is very important with this. But we received that Friday, and we've got protocols in place and procedures in place, and it's given IV over about an hour time frame, and then patient is monitored for about an hour in the outpatient setting, and then sent home. And so we're hoping that we'll see some good results from that, but it requires early detection and getting that done quickly before this thing progresses.
Right.
So earlier the better.
Okay.
We've also been preparing for hopefully a COVID vaccine release. We've been getting quite a bit of information from KDHE on this. So what I've been noticing every time I start getting these type of notifications, we're getting close. So I'm hoping that a vaccine is right around the corner, and we are beginning to get our protocols and policies in place for that, so that once one is released, we can get it distributed as quickly as possible. We're getting refrigerators in place to hold it. It's got to be. We're learning that it's got to be held at really low temperatures, so we're getting the right refrigerators in place, and a lot of different things to prepare for it. But I hope that's right around the corner.
And it's obvious that you guys have done an outstanding job here, and
Well, thank you.
we all appreciate it. So,
We're also doing a health fair in the middle of this, so
I don't know.
Tomorrow?
I heard that.
tomorrow and Wednesday, we are doing it. We're doing it limited time, just from 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's going to be at the hospital, not at the clinic this
So-
year. It's
So where
gonna
do
be-
where do you want people to go to?
If they will come to the front door of the hospital, then Mila has a route to take people through.
Okay.
And we're going to try to move people through very quickly, not have large numbers in any given place at one time, and as safely as possible. But we do feel like we've got to get some. There's quite a few of our people that need blood work done, need to be checked out, and we've got to do that. So doing that tomorrow and Wednesday at the hospital, and then Thursday at Bird City Clinic. So,
All right.
but yes, we're hanging in there.
We feel your pain and we sympathize. And anything we can do to help you, we will.
Appreciate that.
And again, you're tapping our best resource here in Ryan. So, hey, we'll move forward. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get through this. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there yesterday. They didn't even know we were in there, in the ambulance.
Yesterday.
Yeah, they were so busy that we
Yeah.
pulled in the bay and
Yeah, we've set up a triage area in that little hallway between the ambulance bay and,
Yeah, I've seen
and the
that,
hospital.
yeah.
We set up a triage area there, put up temporary walls in there to sort of isolate while we triage patients, screen them, and then if they end up being positive after a rapid test, then we know where to take them. We found ourselves cross-contaminating areas of the hospital because we were taking them into the ER, screening them there, and then they would be positive. Well, now we've already
Now you gotta clean
contaminated
the
our
ER.
ER. We got to sterilize the whole thing, and so we're figuring out new ways.
Well,
of
it's a
doing it.
learning process because we've never done it before.
Yeah, and then we put up the same type of temporary walls at the end of our hallway, separating two of our med-surg beds down at the end, and that's where we're doing our OB now, so that they're not in the same hallway. Basically, they're separated from the rest of the room. So we're trying to take care of business as best as possible.
It's all anybody can do because there's no clear-cut cure to anything. So,
Yeah.
well, Rance, one other thing we wanted to discuss with you was an appointment to High Plains Mental Health.
Yes.
I received a call from Carol Rogers probably a month ago saying that she was going to resign that position.
I'd visited with her, and
Okay.
she asked if I was interested, and I told her I would be happy to do that. But then I thought of Molly, and she was interested, but then Molly stepped down from and that was very abrupt. That was unexpected, very abrupt, and don't know what happened there. Don't.
Yeah.
But if
We feel that you probably are better qualified to pick the individual than us.
okay,
So if we can, we'd like to rely on you
I'll be happy to.
to put that name forward, and we'll get that process going because it is most important, especially now.
Yeah.
Incredibly important. We need to have a voice in that.
Yeah,
That board.
I'll be happy to. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah. And we should have, not High Plains, but Senior Life Solutions is actively searching for a replacement for Molly.
So there could be a possibility that whatever individual
Ends
takes
up.
that position would be interested in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think would.
That makes
Probably
more
be
sense than
best.
anything, yeah.
I think that would absolutely be best, whoever that person is.
Well, I don't think it's super critical that we have to put a name forward immediately.
Okay.
But, we'd probably like to get them started at first of the year.
Okay.
And
All righty.
There also needs to be a second in case
Sorry.
There also needs to be a second
Alternate.
or alternate
Okay.
in case they can't make the meeting. Then the
You can
alternate.
be the
You're
alternate.
welcome to put me down as whatever capacity you
Well, let's kind of wait
But
until
we
you,
can- we
until
can
you
see
can
what
locate your
synchronized
individual.
solutions
Yes,
brings our way.
Yes.
And that's what I'd like to be as the primary right there.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. And we did, speaking of High Plains, the spark funding that we got for that, we have made that payment. Now we're actually working with them on scheduling, so they will be back in-house with us starting in January, and so we're currently working on that.
So it'd be a good time to get a good appointee
Forgot to give
to.
you that. I had a letter from High Plains, and I forgot to give it to him earlier.
Okay, Rance, did you have anything else for us this morning?
Any more?
You know, we get lots of questions and I don't have the
Feel
answers.
free to holler at me anytime if you need to, so.
Okay. Well, I think there again, we need to touch on the point. If you're ill, please call. Again, the quicker the better.
Yeah.
And don't just come stumbling in the hospital or the ER if you're sick.
Exactly, yeah. Give us a call and let us place you in the right place, and
Okay.
yeah, we definitely want to, but we definitely want to see them as early as possible, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Step outside. She's on deck.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Morning, Kelly.
Morning. I am bringing to you the grant approval for the steering committee and task force have approved these as part of the Spark funding COVID recovery grant program that we put together. And I just need to, I guess, need your stamp of approval to be able to go ahead and issue those.
I'm surprised there's
Checks.
not more on here.
We've had a couple other requests since this, and so we're just seeing where we are on the funding, and then we may be able to grant a few others. So.
And this is the monies that you got from,
From the Spark
Spark
funding,
funding.
This is a portion of the,
and there will be more of this?
No,
This
no,
is it?
this is,
that's it.
but I brought to you earlier those reimbursement and direct aid requests that we had received from other entities.
There's a
Earlier.
total of what?
There's a total of
500,000?
$526,000.
This is the last of that money.
Right.
So the remainder has been dispersed already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the grant portion
Right.
that was set up whereby those who did not get in on the
Who were not-
reimbursement side
Oh, I see,
still had
I
a
see.
loss.
So this is not a complete list of
No,
everybody that's taken- oh, okay.
no. This is
I guess
simply
that's-
Just that
This
This
is
grant.
just that grant.
only
Okay.
the grant portion of it. I'm sorry.
I'm with you now.
I'm sorry.
I was just
Should have
surprised
clarified
that, holy cow, we didn't have no more people in that thing.
No.
ready to do it.
This is simply only the grant portion of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because we set up a separate grant for, with some of the excess monies that we had to be able to help individuals or businesses that would not necessarily have qualified for that initial
Okay.
portion.
So once you're through dispersing this,
Mm-hmm.
that portion is done, right? We're done with that Sparks, other than reporting and accounting? and-
Reporting and counting and verifying that we
Yeah.
have,
Okay.
yes.
So I guess my point is there's no more funds available after this, from that particular program?
At this point, no.
Okay.
But the rest of the story is that if they don't use all of the funds that were allotted, then they need to notify the committee as soon as possible, because those can be allocated to another.
Yeah.
Right, they can be reallocated.
Okay.
And they do have to be used by December 30th, because the state will take back
So
anything that we
they
have
just have
not
to be
spent.
directed to these people by the 30th. They don't have to spend that money.
Yes, they do have to
This is-
spend
Oh,
that
no
money.
kidding.
Yeah.
Everything has to be,
Everything has to be spent and projects completed
Wow.
by December 30th,
Well, rules are rules, I
or
guess.
the state takes it back.
Not a lot of time, is it?
No,
It's
It's
not
not.
been a lot of time for any
for
of it.
any of it.
Well, thank you you guys have done a great job, and
So like the ones, the loss of income, that's already spent basically.
Yes. A lot of this is funds that would be more considered reimbursement. So,
good.
so they already have the receipts, so everything is easy to report in.
Good. You need anything from us, or you guys getting?
Just need to know that it's okay for me to issue these funds.
Probably better have a motion.
Is there a total amount or anything?
The total amount on here is 70, oh shoot, I thought I had it down there. It would be $71,945.01.
Yeah, it's there.
I'll move that we pass the 71,945.01 for reimbursement, basically. Is that correct?
From the Kansas Sparks Fund.
From the Kansas Sparks Fund.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.
and on the individuals, you know, instead of coming up with a memorandum of understanding, Brian and I visited about that, and really all you need is on the application to say, I hereby certify that the foregoing is true and accurate to the
Okay.
best of my knowledge. Have them sign it and we're good.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, Cody is in quarantine, so we need to call him whenever you're ready.
I guess we're ready. This cord's right behind you, Willie. Don't trip over it if you get up.
Hey, Dookie.
This is Cody.
Good morning, Cody. This is Terry.
Hey, good morning.
We're actually in session at the commissioners meeting, and
Yep.
you're next on the agenda, buddy.
Okay, I got two things to talk about. One is the vehicle, and the other will be unelected personnel, whichever one you guys want to take on first.
Let's talk about your vehicle first.
Okay, I've gotten bids on replacing one of the Explorers. It's the one with the most miles and has some issues and stuff like that. I've got some bids. I am thinking of going ahead and getting two more bids because we have to have three, and going ahead with purchasing the car in 2020, knowing that I have the money in my equipment reserve if there is not the money in my budget to purchase it. And third option would be of course, the drug fund, but I'd rather not use that if available to use out of my equipment reserve. And then I'd like to order another one when the new year gets around, which I'll take care of that time coming to the commissioners with bids and stuff. But before I go and get two more bids, I just want to make sure you guys are on board with going further.
Yes, we discussed it with you a couple months ago
Yeah.
about
Yeah, I just didn't know if anything came up with, the money situation or anything, if anything had changed with that
Not
or
that-
not before I went further. I wanted to make sure.
Not that we're aware of, and I think the sooner you can get this vehicle purchased, the better off you're going to be.
Okay. Yeah, the second question is what do you guys want to do with the old Explorer when I get done with it? I'm going to either ask for a trade-in value or see if you guys want me to turn it into you guys to do whatever with.
Well,
it's your guys' choice.
Let's try the trade-in route first, just to
Okay.
see what we're dealing with money-wise. And if it looks like we're not going to get much of a return on it, maybe we can repurpose it somewhere else in the county. I don't know.
Okay. I will do that.
We've had pretty-
That's all I had for the vehicle. What's that?
We've had pretty good luck going through like auction time or something like that.
Yeah. And I think that'd probably be the better of the best, because where that's a plain Jane Explorer, I don't think that our trade-in value is going to be all that high with the vinyl seats, the vinyl floor, and everything. It doesn't have a backup camera. It doesn't have any of those options, so it's going to be pretty plain Jane on its trade-in value. So.
Well, find out for sure, and then if we need to, let's we can auction it at really any time. So go ahead and get
All
your
right.
bids and include the trade-in value, and let's see what it looks like.
Okay, that sounds good. And then the last issue is unelected personnel.
Do you need executive session?
I don't necessarily think so.
Okay.
It's not anything that's secret or anything. Kat will be leaving us to go to Rollins County to be the undersheriff of Rollins County. Her last day will be December 31st, so I'll be advertising for that position.
I hate to hear that, but sounds like that's what. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for her. That'll be good, and also be an opportunity for us. I think it'll really build good relationships with the county we hold prisoners in their jail. So
I agree. Yeah, go forward with that. How are you going to advertise it? What kind of a description are you going to put?
I'm going to be pretty, excuse me, generic. Office manager must be able to attend the Kelly TC to obtain part-time certification. Put it pretty generic, and then I'm going to have copies of the actual job description up here in the office if somebody calls and wants to follow up on what the ad is in the paper.
Okay.
And ask that they read the job description while they're considering filling out the application.
Okay.
So, and I can take some down to the clerk's office as well, because I know sometimes people go directly down there to get the applications, and I think that's actually what we put in our ads too, is for them to go to the clerk's office to get the application.
Right.
So,
Correct.
So yeah,
Do they
I'm going
have
to
be
just
a
put in.
sheriff?
What's that?
Do they have to be, say, a sheriff or a deputy or something?
They'd have to get their part-time certification, yeah. So,
There's different levels of certification.
yeah, this would not be the full-time academy for 14 weeks, Willie. This is just a 2-week academy.
But anyone can apply for the job.
Correct. Anyone can apply for
And they'll
this.
provide the training.
You do not
Yeah.
have to be law enforcement certified to
No,
apply.
no. I doubt we get anybody that's already certified to apply anyway.
Right.
But they have to be willing and able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think move forward with both of them, Cody.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
And just, I guess, give you an update. The 2 guys are at the academy are going to be here for another week. They're home from academy. They've recovered from COVID, and they'll be going back to the academy probably, hopefully this next week. They'll go back to finish. They have 2 weeks left to finish their academy.
So,
So-
did their class go ahead and graduate, and they have to make up the 2
No.
weeks?
No, they sent the whole class home.
Oh, really?
They had so much COVID. So they will have to go back and do 1 week of E-Box, and then their last week, I believe. And then the plan is to have them graduate by December 11th. The original graduation date was November 20th.
Okay, so it's just basically a 2-week delay.
Yep.
Okay, and we're going to put these guys on the road and get them
Yeah,
working.
they got to do something for a
mid-December.
week. They're until they go back, which is kind of iffy when they go back. The plan is next week for them to go back.
Okay.
So I was like, either we send them around and keep them on COVID pay, but they're cleared by medical. You know, they both had COVID. They're both clear.
Okay.
And got a medical release to come back to work. I didn't think it's fair to send them home and have them sit at home and pay them COVID leave for doing nothing when they're both medically cleared. So we're going to have them working for a week. So.
All right, Cody. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. You got anything else this morning?
That's it.
All right. Well, take care of yourself. Quarantine.
All right. All right. Thanks.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Which one of these do I push?
Big button on the left. Think you got it. Don't use it enough.
Okay, so we're just waiting on DJ and Dave.
He's right across the hall.
Yeah, if we could get DJ in here, because I've got video court
Okay.
at 10 that I need to log on to.
Morning. You gentlemen ready for
Good
me?
morning. Yes, sir.
Let's start with the noxious weed department first, please. It was a tough year with the noxious weed spraying. Obviously, not being able to meet a lot of people and people not doing a whole lot with farming and spraying. But we had fair returns, but this is the fall aerial spraying that the landowners turned in themselves. This is just Grace Flying Service. We did 213 acres total. And so our cost share from the county would be $1,370.60. That bill will come in here middle of next month, but I would like a motion to approve to pay that to Grace Flying.
And what percent? Oh, 25%.
25%.
I move we pay the $1,370.60 to Grace Flying.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Then I would like to ask for 15 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss a security matter.
Okay.
Motion for 15 minutes of executive session, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
I think I'm gonna get some coffee first.
God, I didn't eat anything. Coffee wired me.
I didn't either.